Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas and right now we're looking at a portfolio template that I built a couple months ago, maybe like 5 months ago, I would say. And there's a few interesting things, as you can see. For example, this little section, I made a YouTube video about this a couple months ago. And basically what it is that you can click on one of these and it takes you to a specific date, right? This is November 17th. 2025, and then we can go back here and this is August 1st, right? So there's specific dates here. This is December 27th, right? And it's like kind of sorted out from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And the idea of this concept is to have like some type of activity log for your portfolio. So let's say that in this specific day you did a lot, but then in this day you didn't really do anything, so you can't really click on it, right? So this is kind of, this concept, I obviously got it from GitHub, from the GitHub commit graph, right? Whenever you commit something or several things, you have a brighter green. So I think this is a pretty cool tool to have in your portfolio. It's still not refined yet. It's still kind of, not perfect. And that's why I want to take the time today to actually edit this, refine this a little bit. And I want to tailor it so that it's not for creators, like not really so, how can I explain it? It's not so bland. It's more specifically towards content creators, right? People that create templates, people that create remix links, people that create YouTube videos, people that create blog posts and share them, right? People that create X posts. So because I think that this is the make or break situation for every designer out there. And I think for a lot of different industries out there, you have to kind of create a personal brand. And the way to create a personal brand right now, we have the best resources out there with social media and with different ways of basically sharing your thoughts and your work, right? So I wanted to tailor this specific section right here to this content creation world. And that's why I want to, and I don't want it to be like a year long like this. I think this is a little bit too much. I want to, put it down to like maybe 20 days so you can see the last 20 days. And yeah, maybe add some little design refinements, add a picture. So I actually made a little Figma sketch, FigJam sketch. So this is kind of the inspiration, right? So we have our photo and our full name and our description and maybe our socials below this, right? And then on the right side, like we have here in Framer, our graph, right? It's going to look something like this. But if we go back to Figma, if we zoom into one of these, let's just zoom in, which is going to be here, it's going to look like this, where we have a thumbnail of that specific day, right? Every one of these is going to symbolize a specific day. And this card is going to have a thumbnail of the day and a logo of what they created. So let's say that I made a YouTube video and I created something with lemon squeezy, right? Then I'm going to put the logo, like a thumbnail of something that represents that day. Maybe I took a selfie, maybe I can put the thumbnail of my YouTube, something like that. Put it there and then put these logos. So I'm going to put the X logo, sorry, not the X logo, the YouTube logo and the lemon squeezy logo, right? And boom, that's for that day. That's for that specific day. And so we're going to have a list of these, maybe for 3 days straight or for 4 days straight, you did that. But then for the 5th day, you did just an X post and you posted something on Medium, right? If you have something like that, then it would look like that with those two logos here. And maybe you didn't do anything in one specific day, and that's okay. We're all humans here. I struggle with that as well. Some days I get burned out and I don't do anything. I just, go outside and get some sun, whatever. basically for that day, it's going to be empty. There's not going to be anything. You can't click on it. Or maybe we can do some type of thing that shows, you know, we did some outdoors activities. But in this case, for this video, we don't want to make it so long. It's not going to be really clickable. It's going to be kind of empty, right? So once we got that, we have that idea in our head, right? Once the user would click over this thumbnail, the color will start getting a little bit darker and the date will pop up. So the date will pop up showing, the date that it's in, right? So it's going to be a component with a hover state, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if that's exciting for y'all, let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this. So today is February 14th, 2025. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And I'm going to rename this so it's updated. And yeah, so what we want to do is we want to also go to our CMS. And this is the Notion CMS. So initially I did this with Notion. So putting all of this in like a Notion database and syncing it, so it would be session 1, session 2, session 3. Quite complicated. It didn't sync very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new collection, and we're going to do this right in Framer. I think this is, the best way of doing it for now. And let's open a new collection and let's call it content creation. Boom, enter, and we have it ready. So first thing we want to do, click on new item. And we can already start seeing that it's the title, slug, and content. We need to add more fields. So I'm going to go up here to edit fields and start adding new fields. So if we go back to our Figma, you can see that we need a thumbnail. So I'm going to go ahead and go here and add an image and call that thumbnail. And I'm going to put that at the very top, right? And then we're going to add a date. So let's put this date and let's call it date. And let's put that date under the thumbnail. Okay, and the title would go here somehow. All right, thumbnail, date, and then we need several things. We need several things because we need to indicate if this project was if this date if in this date I posted a YouTube video or an X post or lemon squeezy or Gumroad, whatever. So we need to set those indicators. So how can we do that? We can go by going back to Framer and we can set a type of toggle and put Twitter. Let's put X/Twitter. Some people get confused. Let's duplicate this. Let's put YouTube. Duplicate this. Lemon squeezy. And I'm thinking, like, should we have it like a toggle or like a link, and we just add the link to that? I think we should add a link. So I'm going to remove these 3 actually. So let's remove the toggles. Again, all of these videos that I'm doing are, very raw and unedited. So I'm just working, while talking. So YouTube, we have X/Twitter. We can put like Instagram, or actually let's just stick with the ones. You can put Instagram, right? That's a challenge for you. So you can use this template, which I'm going to include in the description below, and use something like Instagram. So we have lemon squeezy, Gumroad, link, lemon squeezy, and then duplicate Gumroad, duplicate medium, duplicate contra. So we have different links. So each one is going to link to a different video or different post, different product post, however you call that. So that's good. And it's just important to have this because we're going to set these links, these logos underneath these inside this thumbnail, and we need to set like a filter. So if YouTube has a link, then show. If not, then don't show, right? So that's important to keep in mind. Now, okay, I think this is good for now. I think the next thing that we have to do is just set up. I'm going to set up like 20 different ones that, I actually did because I've, posted on X or I've created Lemon Squeezy, done YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do that it kind of references to myself. So I'm going to pause this video and be right back once we have 20 collections. By the way, everyone, I'm going to also add a Discord field in the CMS because I do have a Discord community. And by the way, you're all welcome to join. We do like daily live calls from Monday to Friday at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So it's 7:30 p.m. in Europe, right? So I'm going to add like these links because I do it almost every day. There's always like one day in the week that I don't go because I'm busy with other stuff, but I'm going to add this as well because I think that this is an important piece of my content creation world. And if you have other things like this, right, you can also add that as well. If you drop a course one day, or if you, I don't know, you do something out of the blue, right? Create that field in CMS, in your CMS collection, and add that there as well. All right, so I've logged 10 items in this collection, starting from February 4th to yesterday, February 13th. February 14th is missing because there's still a lot to do today, right? So I'm going to start with these 10 days. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our front end here, and we're going to go ahead and add this collection into our page. So we have the Notion one, which is this one, and we have this content one. And what we want to do is we want to start styling this in a way that we said before, right? So we have this set to fill, and we have this. Let's go over here again, make sure that it's going like this, and make sure that this is set to fill, and this is set to fit content, this is set to fit content. Okay, so we might want this to be a grid, and this grid, well, we're gonna have 10, so maybe 5 columns. And now for this, we want this fill to be the image. So right now we have an image here. We're just going to delete this, and we're going to make this fill the image. So right now it's a color. We're going to choose this image, and we're just going to put, actually, we're going to leave it at a color, and we're going to make it like this gray. And this is going to represent the one that doesn't have anything, this dark color. So we're going to put this dark elevated or something like that, maybe a little bit lighter. Yeah, okay. So now this is going to be set variable to the thumbnail. And this one doesn't have it. So we're going to check that later, right? So what we want to do now is we want to set this at a specific height, I would say. So the height would be, we can do like 100. And we can give it some nice little border radius. And I'm curious to see if we can add some type of filter, yeah, like a grayscale. Maybe making them a little bit like gray like this. And because I want to add some type of frame above it, or a few frames that represent the amount of activity. I'm just curious here, right? So just to see how this would look like. Right now we have this date, and we don't need the date, right? We just need this little thing here, and we need to, I want to add a little frame, put it inside of this one, make this go align to the bottom, give this a little bit of a padding, and now for this, give what we can do is there's this logo file. Yeah, this is what I want to do. So we have YouTube, perfect. Let's just add the YouTube here, or where was it? Let's add the YouTube one here. Boom. So YouTube is nice and small. You can barely see it because of this thumbnail, right? It's really annoying, but we're gonna fix that. So we have YouTube, we have X, right? That was the next thing. Only if we find it, here it is, X. Let's also make it like in the same type of height. And we have, what else do we have? YouTube X, Discord, lemon squeezy. Oh, they don't really have the lemon squeezy logo. Oh yeah, they do. Awesome. Lemon squeezy. And I have the other ones here, Gumroad and whatever. Gumroad and Medium, but I didn't really add them, or Contra. So we're just gonna put the 1, 2, 3, 4 Discord, that one at the ends. Okay, so we do have it here. Okay, so now each one has this. What I want to do here is I want to set these, put these into a stack and give it a little bit less of a gap, and maybe put this on the left start. Well, it is already in the start. Make this fill, okay. Make this, set this start. Or we can leave it in the center, why not? And then for this one, we're gonna have to do a few things. I wanna add some type of blur. We might want to create a component out of this right now. And we're gonna call this card. And this is gonna be the thumbnail. Let's see if this works. Okay, good, it does work. Actually, I want this to sort by date. New to old. Perfect. So this one you can see there's nothing there. So we got that. Let me get this frame over here, and let's go to our layers. Let's make this absolute, and let's put this at a lower Z index than these guys. Maybe make it dark and make it 100% relative and 100% relative. Put it in the middle. Boom. And let's just make it dark and give some type of background blur effect. Okay, right now the grayscale is set to 100. So we want to give this frame a style background blur and give it some background blur. Maybe a little bit less. So this maybe 10. And we want this to have a radius. Does it already have a radius? We want the card to have a radius. Amazing, it doesn't do that. Okay. Let's adjust this background blur to something like 6. And maybe adjust the color to be a little bit less, maybe 10. And we can adjust the grayscale to be 0. So there is some color. Okay, great, that's cool. It's starting to look nice. It's starting to look better. We might have to adjust the sizes of these logos down here to be a little bit smaller. Boom. Because we just want them to be indicators, right? We don't want them to be something special. Now, I want to set this visibility. So visible, set variable, create variable. And this is YouTube. And I want to see if this works. YouTube, set variable to YouTube is set. Okay, so YouTube isn't set this day, right? So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to set these variables to these guys. So this was going to be visible, create variable, X, lemon squeezy, visible, create variable, lemon, Discord, visible, create variable, Discord. So now we can go here and add this condition to X. If X Twitter is set, then yes, and most of them they're not, and some of them they are. Lemon set variable, lemon squeezy is set. Discord set variable, Discord is set, and I kind of do this almost every day, the Discord, except for the weekends. So this is a Sunday, by the way. So just that's why there's nothing here, and we want this background. We want this background to be we want it to have to look different, not with this image thing. First of all, let me add a stack to this. I don't know if that's the best idea. Maybe not. Okay, now it's looking good. Okay, I understand what the problem is. It was that frame that needs to be also with a radius. Now it should look better. Perfect. Okay, now it's looking all nice and good. I want there to be some padding on the right and left, I would say. So we have this, and if I press play, we have these different sections looking really nice, I have to say, with these little logos. Just needs a little bit of refinement. So what we want to do is, actually I want to remove this because right now we don't really need that. I just want to use this as a reference, and we can actually put this to the top somehow, or maybe down here, however you guys want to. But let's go over here, and now what we want to do is we want to add a text to the middle. So this is going to be date, and this date is going to have the style of maybe H6, and put it here in the middle of this variant. And let's make this go like this and go like this. And we want this to kind of, how can we do this? We want this to be fit, and we want this to be fill in height, and we want this to be kind of in the middle. Or we can just put this fit and then put this in a stack that is fill. That's what we're going to do. So add stack. Stack is going to be fill. And in the middle. Perfect. And this is going to have a higher z index than the blur because right now it's blurry and we don't want that. So we got that. Now what we want to do is we want to do a hover. So hover, this is going to pop out. For this one, this is going to be opacity 0. And for here, it's going to be opacity 100. So once you hover over this card, you get the date. And the date has to be linked to a specific date. Content, create variable, plain text, date. And for this, I'm going to say that the frame should be a little bit darker. Maybe like 25. And the background blur should be maybe 2%. Let's see how that looks like. Maybe we can start off with not a lot of color. So we can set that grayscale to be 100, and here the grayscale to be 0. So it starts off all gray, and then we can set this going like this. It all needs a little bit more refinement. This is all, based on your liking. Maybe you don't want any blur. Maybe it should be darker. Just see. I actually think that's actually pretty nice. And the date should be, I think, a little bit smaller. So maybe, yeah, let's just keep it like this, whatever. And let me just edit this to be, let's choose this one. Let's make this white. And now for the date, we can just set variable date, format date. How would that look like? Okay. Starting to look good. Format date, let's make this smaller. And date, set variable to format date. But I want to see the other section. So format date equals locale date only, time only, date and time. Style S. Let's see how style S looks like. This looks cool. Right? So we have all of these different dates. It would be nice if the date kind of popped out under the icons, right? I think that would be cool. So let's just go like this. Let's make this fit content and this fit as well. And let's put this under the stack. And let's get this and reduce the gap. Where's the gap? Oh, I reduced the radius. Crap. Keep the radius. Let's reduce the gap. Round 2. Let's put this at the end. And let's get this date. Call this date. This is going to be opacity 0 and visible no. And here the date is going to be opacity 1 and visible yes. So let's see how that looks like. Maybe we can make the date a little bit bolder. So we can get this date and make it bold. How would that look like? Boom. So it's a little bit more dynamic. Maybe a little bit too dark. We can do something like this. Here, 0%. And this frame can be opacity, maybe like this, and here the opacity would be more. So it's like coming from the bottom. Still think that this image is quite how would you call it? Let's keep it at this, no gradient, and then this is going to be the solid. Oops. And then we're going to have a duplicate, and this would be the gradient. And then for the gradient, we remove the background blur. We don't need this. We increase the z-index. We increase the z-index of this. All right. And then for the gradient, we just create that gradient, right? We had that 0 here, and then here was like this. And then for here, it can be maybe like something like this, and here the gradient can be 100. Maybe that blur is a little bit too much. And maybe that solid is a little bit too much here. That looks good. Maybe we can add some color to these different icons. So let's make the YouTube one red, if it's possible. And let's make it the YouTube red. I guess it's not possible. There's something wrong here. It's not picking up the colors. I wonder why. Yes. That's not picking up the colors. Just staying in this monotone color. I'm curious to see if I don't know if that's the right thing we want. I thought we could change the colors. Oh, I get it. Is it because here it's gray? Maybe it's because the z-index is higher. So if I go like this, is it going to be red? Why is it gray though? Just checking things out, so. I mean, we can just keep it white for now. I don't know why it's acting like that. That's strange. But this is kind of the idea of what I wanted. Now, let's kind of see how this would work out. The gap can be set to 10. There's somewhat more gap here, I think. You can adjust the columns because it's a grid. You can put like 4, for example. Okay, yeah, now it's this one that we didn't do anything. Well, the one that we didn't do anything, I don't have a YouTube video, so why is YouTube showing? So, okay, I think because YouTube doesn't have that thing, that variable. So let's add that. Oh, and it doesn't have the variable because we kind of took it away as we were trying to style it. Okay, so now it's working. That's strange. Strange things, but nonetheless, no problem. Let's give this a fill. Let's give this a fill like this, and let's variable image default. So for the default, I guess we can just choose some type of gray image, right? So what we can do is we can create like a thing like this, make it this dark elevated but a little bit lighter, and export this as the color gray. So export frame as gray thumbnail. And then here for the fill, we can do fill, create variable image, default, choose image, gray thumbnail, boom. And then back home. And then what we want to do is basically set this image to thumbnail like that. So right. All right. What else can we improve here? Maybe we can add some type of border by going in the variant. Let's delete this frame. Let's apply some type of border, like a white border. And let's make it maybe 20%. This is looking better because you can kind of see the gap behind, with everything. We can make it like 10, and again reduce the column to about 4. This looks better, I would say. This is messing me up. Let's just remove this. Boom, 0. I don't know why it's like that. This is looking better. Okay. And let's remove this as well. Right and left. Okay. We can put this underneath. And it's looking like this now. And this top bar, I would say it would be cool if it had a higher Z index and had some type of background border, not background border, sorry, a background blur 5 and a type of fill, because right now it doesn't have a fill. Let's just give it this fill of this, and maybe less, like 5%, 5 pixels, sorry. Oh, we weren't doing the right one. This one. 5. That looks better. Okay, so we have these images here. And it's looking good. So now the next thing that we want to do is we want to obviously link this to our CMS. So we have to create, the CMS pages. So if I click on here, content creation detail page, and we obviously have to format it in the way that we want. But if we go here to interactions, we have to actually go in here and go to link, create a variable, and then go back here and set variable to the or add the variable and put it to this, just like that. So this one will take me here. So yeah, basically that's working fine. All right. Now the next thing that we would have to do, obviously, is just, and we would have to be going here if set variable to thumbnail is set. When yes, convert to our content select page. When no, then there's no link. So this one, you can't really click on it. This one you can. So that's another thing that we can add. I kind of don't like the short date. So what we can do is we can go back here under date, and we can content, create variable, plain text. Okay, well, let's just go back out here, sorry. And the date should be medium, February 13th, yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you all like this little tutorial. This is, a little nuance of what we can do with Framer. I like this because this is something cool for content creators, that it's like kind of like a log. It's mixed with this GitHub thing that shows you kind of how much you've done in a specific day. So instead of with the green things, it would show you with the logos of how many things you've posted in a specific day. So for example, February 7th, I did all of these different things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you want the remix link to this, it's in the description below. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.